Okay,
Yeah, voice is properly. There's no problem.
okay, fine. So, are you ready for a mock interview?
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, okay, Sonal, just introduce yourself in brief so we can talk further.
Yeah, sure. My name is Sonal Umar. I am from Kanpur and I have done my intermediate in the biology discipline. Later on, I move ahead to complete my Bachelor's of Sciences in Biotechnology from the Brahmanand PG College, which is affiliated with Kanpur University. Later on, I qualified the joint admission test for Masters and I got an opportunity to complete my post graduation from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee in biotechnology discipline only. Then in the my master's project, I have done project on the nanotechnology, whose topic was synthesis of the hydrogen and estimating its anti-cancer potential. And from this project, I got an opportunity to be selected as one of the 25 students from the India in one of the Canadian conference to learn some techniques in entrepreneurship. And after that, currently I am enrolled in a PhD program in Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. And my topic of research in my thesis or my current project is interconnections between redox rhythm and circadian rhythm in cancer redox.
Okay, Sonal, good. So, currently you are a PhD scholar, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, in which year your PhD is going on?
Sir, currently it's going on sixth year.
Okay, okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
Sonal, I think there is no free. So another, have you published any articles related to your objective or PhD objective?
Yes, I have co-authored as a second author in three research papers, and I published one review article, and one of my article, which is dependent upon my thesis, is currently in the submission in submitted stage, or we can say under review. Yeah, that's the
Okay,
overall for
okay,
my
fine,
PhD.
fine. Moving ahead, Sonal, as you know, that is there are 10 unit syllabus in CPTM biotechnology main syllabus, right? So,
Yes,
if
sir.
I ask to
Yes,
you,
sir.
among these 10 unit syllabus, the unit which you favor more, so what will be your answer?
So mostly my research interest is dependent upon the immunology, recombinant DNA technology, and biochemistry. So these
Okay,
three areas are my
okay, okay,
study.
got it. That means you are interested in the immunology, RD technology, and molecular
Yes,
biology, right?
no biochemistry.
Biochemistry. Very good. So,
Yeah.
okay, Sonal, can you just inform me that is the some reference books regarding biochemistry? Name of the some reference books.
Yes, one of the book which I have gone through the biochemistry first time in my bachelor's was New Satyanarayan book. But later on, when I read the Leninger book, I find the Leninger book very interesting, and that was the book which made me to drive to learn more about the biochemistry.
Well done. Very good. Okay, Sonal, in biochemistry, in linear biochemistry, there are three parts. That is one part for the biomolecules, second part for the bioenergetics, and third for the that is gene expression means molecular biology. So, in
Yeah, yeah.
bioenergetics, we generally use a term that is entropy. So, if I ask to you, that is on the there are different four level of a proteins structure, that is primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. So, in terms of entropy, what will be the order of these four different protein structures?
So when we look about the entropy term, it's basically determine the order, or we can say the randomness in the environment.
Yeah.
So the more the randomness, it will like more the entropy will be. So the primary structure is more randomness. Then it is secondary structure. It get ordered. Then tertiary and then quaternary.
Okay, very good. Well done. So, can you tell me the chemical bonds involved in the secondary structure of the proteins?
Yeah, yes, sir. Sir, mostly in the secondary, for the formation of the secondary structure in the protein, we have a hydrogen bond, and bond can be formed in two different ways, which is alpha helix and beta strands.
Okay, good. Sonal, there are different examples of the primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary proteins, right? Can you elaborate the
Yes.
can you elaborate the examples of a primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary protein?
Yeah, sure, sir. So, suppose if we are doing the protein sequencing, mostly we are trying to find the sequence of the protein in WASH, like from N terminal to C terminal. What are the sequences in the proteins? Finally, whatever we can quote it from the what we can say translation process. But soon after the translation, how it will further fold in a two-dimensional way, we can say, like in a beta strand or the alpha shape. That will come under secondary structure. In tertiary structure, it will be like how these alpha sheets or beta strands are together interacting with each other of a single chain. But when two or more chains comes in picture, they will form the quaternary structure.
Any example of quaternary and tertiary proteins?
For the tertiary protein, mostly we take the example of myoglobin, and for the quaternary structure, we take the example of hemoglobin.
Okay, well said. Sonal, in biochemistry, that is pH and buffer has a very significant role. Like each and every enzyme has their own optimum pH as well as
Mhm.
buffers play very significant role. My question is that how a buffer can maintain the pH of a given solutions after adding of a slightly amount of acid or base? What is the mechanism behind the buffer actions?
So when we see the buffer, I'm not able to currently remember the I got mixed up between the whether it is salt solution. It is, we can say that the acid whatever we use in buffer, it is of low in nature, but the salt is made up of the higher acids, like which can ionize very fast, like that.
Okay,
So and from the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, we will determine the.
okay. Sonal, suppose if we have a two solution, that is solution A and solution B, and solution A has a pH 5 and solutions B has a pH 7. So, how many folds of hydrogen ions are differ in those solutions? That is pH 5 and pH 7.
Sir, when we talk about the pH, is the log fold changes in the hydrogen ion. So the pH changes differences is 2. So it is like 10 to the power 2 fold change in the hydrogen ions. We can say 100 times change in the hydrogen ions.
Okay, well done, very good. Uh, Generally, we studied about the sigmoidal model of hemoglobin and oxygen dissociation curve, right? Yeah, can you elaborate the significance of that sigmoidal model? How the oxygen dissociation curve of a hemoglobin is a sigmoidal, not just hyperbolic in nature?
Sir, because hemoglobin is a molecule which has to transport the oxygen molecule from one place to another place. It is not a molecule that it has to permanently take up the oxygen and keep it with it. So when we see the sigmoidal curve, it's like that when the oxygen concentration is very severely dropped in some places where it has to be transported, it will dissociate the oxygen in that faster way. And where the oxygen is already much saturated, it will give it in the to the less diffusion process.
Okay, Sonal,
So
if I
that
ask
is the
you, that is
significance
how
of the
many molecule of
sigmoidal.
oxygen can bind with a single molecule of hemoglobin?
Sir, mostly I am not currently remembering it, but it is definitely in the range of 2 to 4, I think. So.
2 to 4. Will all 2 to 4 molecules bind simultaneously on a single time, or there will be a sequence of binding? That is, firstly one molecule will bind, then second, then third, then fourth, like that, or the all four or two molecules will bind
Sir,
simultaneously.
sir, it will be like a sequential model. It will bind. One bind, then it will open up the process for the second binding, and then third and fourth binding, like that.
Very good, well done. Sonal, suppose there are four oxygen molecules hemoglobin can bind, right? And these oxygen four molecules will bind sequential
Yes.
manner. So, what will be the order of affinity among those four molecules of oxygen? That is from lower to higher. Will first molecules will bind with the higher affinity, or the four molecule of oxygen will bind with the higher affinity?
So the initially the hemoglobin will bind the oxygen molecule with the lower affinity, but as soon as the binding requires saturation, it will bind with higher affinity. And losing it is opposite. It will lose in the higher affinity first one, and then with second, and then with third, and then with fourth. like
Okay.
whatever I can remember now.
Okay,
So,
very good, very good. No issue. Moving ahead, uh, Sonal, just a general questions that we know, that is our RBC cells do not contain any kind of a cell organelles or any nucleus, etc. What is the significance of the removal of that all the kind of a
yeah.
cell organelles from the RBC cells?
So, first of all, the main function of RBC is to transport the oxygen. And the RBC doesn't have to divide also. Its lifetime is fixed for 120 days. So, to complete its goal, the only purpose it requires that it has to be filled with red hemoglobin, and to like provide the sufficient space in the cell. These cell organelles are mostly absent in RBC.
Okay, well done, very good. Sonal, can you tell me the differences between the competitive, non-competitive, and uncompetitive type of inhibitor? What is the functionality differences in these among three different types of inhibitor?
So, competitive,
Com-
uncompetitive, and non-competitive.
yeah, basically there are four types of enzyme inhibitor, that is competitive, non-competitive, uncompetitive, and mixed, right? But generally we studied in all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
different kinds of book, that is three: competitive, non-competitive, and uncompetitive. So my question is that how you can differentiate between these three different types of enzyme inhibitor?
Sir, mostly for the uncompetitive, I'm not sure now, but for the inhibited kind of competitive and the non-competitive, like a substrate and the inhibitor will compete with the enzyme to get bind into the that space, and or we can say that active site. But in the in the non-competitive inhibitor, it will bind at a different site and will further inhibit the binding of the substrate. For the uncompetitive, I am not sure like how.
Okay, no issue. Suppose a person has administered with a certain kind of a medicine or drug, like as a painkiller or a fever, tongue, etc. So, what will be the kind of a mechanism that drug molecules can bind with a certain types, certain target? Like as that is, there are the three different types of inhibitor, like as competitive, non-competitive, and incompetitive. So among these three types of inhibitor, the drug molecules will follow what kind of a mode of inhibition, that is competitive, non-competitive, or uncompetitive.
So mostly it depends upon the type of drug also and what kind of requirement is in
Suppose
the
the type
drug.
of drug is that is painkiller.
So for painkillers, mostly we use the competitive inhibitor, which compete with the substrate, right, and then will inhibit the enzyme.
Okay, very good. Plasma membrane is one of the very significant part of any kind of a cells. That means without membrane, no any cells can survive. Can you justify the statement that no any cells can survive without plasma membrane? How cell membrane is very very significant for the survival of any kind of a cells?
Currently, I'm in my mind. I don't have any experiment like how we can like prove that the plasma membrane is necessary for the yeah. But one way I can prove it, like if we take any cell and because plasma membrane is the outer layer and detergent can disrupt its function. So if we see that cell is particularly surviving even after the detergent exposure, we can say that even without plasma membrane, cells can survive. But mostly when we add detergent or anything which can solubilize the plasma membrane, cells don't live after that.
Okay.
That is the one way in which I can prove
Okay,
that
okay,
plasma membrane is
okay,
necessary.
Sonal. That is fluidity. Fluidity of a membrane is very, very important property. To maintain the fluidity, there are certain
Yeah.
molecules involved. So my question is that who will decide and maintain the fluidity of that membrane, the molecule?
Happening.
No, you see, you can continue. I am right now hearing your voice. Okay, no problem.
Okay, okay, okay. Sir, I couldn't hear the last question because there was a network issue. Can you please
Okay,
repeat it?
okay. My question was that is fluidity is one of the very significant feature of the plasma membrane, right? And there are certain molecules
Yes,
which
sir. Yeah.
involve to maintain the fluidity of that membrane. So my question is that who can you name the molecules who involve to maintain the fluidity of the membrane and how it maintain the fluidity of the membrane?
So, mostly the cholesterol is a molecule which maintains the fluidity of the membrane. One, even suppose if we consider that cholesterol is not present in the plasma membrane, we will see that the binding or the binding between the hydrophilic chain with the hydrophilic of another chain will be so strong, and the hydrophobic chain with the hydrophobic chain also will be very strong. So there is the less probability that these two chains will be able to provide that much flexibility. So cholesterol molecule will fit in between them so that they can disrupt the bonding between in such a way that they maintain their flexibility also. So in that way, cholesterol molecule will work.
Okay, Sonal, that is, as we know, membrane is made up of basically three different components, and one of the major component is phospholipid, and lipid has two different kinds of a fatty acid chain, that is saturated
Yes.
and unsaturated fatty acid.
Yeah.
So my question is that is there any
Yes.
significant role of unsaturated fatty acid to maintain the fluidity of a membrane?
Yes. Uh, for the membrane which requires higher fluidity, we use the unsaturated fatty acids, and which require the less fluidity, we use the saturated fatty acids.
Very good. So my question is that how
Because
unsaturated fat, yeah,
uh,
how unsaturated fatty acid will maintain the fluidity of the
they
membrane?
have yeah, yeah, because they have that kink because of the double bonding, and because of these presence of the kink, the space between the two molecules will be higher. So that's where the flexibility will increase.
Well done. Very good. Sonal, have you heard about the FRAP technique?
Yes, fluorescence recovery after photo bleaching. That's
So,
the full form
o-
for that technique.
okay. So what is the FRAP technique and how we can use for what kind of a purpose?
Mostly fluorescence recovery after photo bleaching, we prove through this technique that the plasma membrane is not a solid layer, but rather than it is fluid. It can move from one point to another point. So if we label one portion of the membrane with the fluorescence tag, and we'll give the higher intensity of the light to this, the light will be bleached. But later on, they move to some other places. We can say, okay, that the plasma membrane is on a moving stage, or it is continuously moved from one place to another place in the cell.
Okay, it's all about the entire membrane or something like a lipid or protein content, movement of lipid and protein content.
It's lipid and protein content, but mostly we will target the lipids. And lipids are mostly bind with some specific protein, so they will be like floating together in the all over the surface of the cartridge,
Okay, well
like a
done.
raft
Well done,
is.
Sonal. So there are different kinds of a transporter, like as a that is co-transporter, anti-transporter, uniporter, etc. So can you elaborate the uniport, symport, and antiport type of a transporter?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So for the uniport, it's mostly that the molecule will only pass through one direction. Like
One
sodium will
direction,
pass from
different
the inside
molecules or
to the
same
outside.
single molecule.
A single molecule. It is because it is named the uniport. For the synport, two molecule will pass, but the two molecule will pass also same direction. Like both will transport together inside the cells or either outside the cells. In antiport, it will be like two molecules will be there, but the direction of transport will happening opposite. Like one molecule will go inside the cells, so another has to go outside the cells. So this phenomenon will happen in antiport.
Okay, Sonal, antibody, one of the very very important molecules play in the immunology, and antibody have a very unique kind of a structures like its shape. So my question is that is what the different kinds of chemical bonds are involved in formation of a complete antibody structure.
For the formation of the complete antibody structure, we mostly all kinds of bond will play important role, like hydrogen bonding also, or we can say the covalent bond and non-covalent bond like van der Waals forces and disulfide bonds. So these are the some important which will overall shape the protein sequence of antibody to its three dimensions also.
Okay, Sonal, suppose you are dealing with the antibody M, right, and go for and looking for the SDS page analysis. So, what will be the number of bands on the gel if you're dealing antibody M and go for the SDS page electrophoresis?
Sir, in between I couldn't hear it, sir, because of the network problem. Can you
Okay,
please
I
repeat
repeat
that?
my question. So, my question is that suppose you are dealing with the
Yeah.
antibody M, right, and looking for the SDS page
Okay.
analysis.
Yeah.
So, what will be the number of a band on the gel if you deal antibody M and go for the SDS page electrophoresis?
Sir, though the antibody immunoglobulin M is a pentameric molecule, but the size of the pentamers are mostly the same, so we will get only two chains. That is, one is the heavy chain and another one is the light chain. And that two of the five fragment will be clumped in the STS page.
So, what about the J
So
chain
we'll get two bands.
and what about the J chain?
For the G antibody,
No, no, no. What about the
yes,
J chain
we'll
of the
get the J
antibody?
chain for the that band also. I hope.
So, what will be the number
We
of?
get the third band for that. I
Yeah,
forgot
exactly.
about it.
Very good.
Three.
So,
It will be three.
okay. So, if you're dealing with the secretory antibody A, as we know that is there are two types of antibody A,
Huh.
that is one is the serum antibody A and another is the secretory antibody A, and you are dealing with the secretory antibody A, then what will be the number of bands?
Uh, Sir, I don't know the basically the difference between the secretory and the antibody A. Mostly, I have heard that IgA occurs in the dimeric form. The only difference in the secretory IgA like that immunoglobulin can pass to the epithelial barrier like that. So I'm not sure whether the other kind of antibody will also be dimer or the monomer.
Okay, no issue. So, Sonal, can you just give an example of a five different types of vector used in the RD technology?
Yes, for the first thing, whatever we discover, when we start with the vector study with the plasmids, and when we attach the cos sites for the efficient packaging in the plasmid, we'll name at the not in the plasmid, in the for the page vectors packaging or something, we'll name it as a cosmid. And then if we combine the cosmid with the plasmid, we name it as a plasmid, and then later on, it comes with the bacterial artificial chromosome and yeast artificial chromosomes. So these are some of the vectors which we use in the recombinant DNA.
Okay, Sonal, one last question to you. Suppose you have to clone 200 kb DNA molecules, right? So, what will be the suitable
Yes.
vector will you use for that?
If we have to clone the 200, then we have to go for either back or yeast artificial chromosomes for
Okay,
their cloning because they are
well done.
very large.
Okay, Sonal, have you heard about the shuttle vector?
Yeah, yes, I heard about the shuttle vector. Like shuttle, the word means that which can be used in two different places.
Okay,
So it's like if we say in the terms of the vectors, so that kind of vector which can basically replicate in two different things, like also in the bacteria as well as or in compared to eukaryotes. So that's kind of vector we can say that it is a shuttle vector.
okay, Sonal. Apart from your CGPTM interview and CPTM post, what you like to do in future? Suppose you are not getting selected in CGPTM officers, and then after completing your PhD, what will you do?
Um,
Either go for the PDF, that is postdoctoral fellowship, or
Sir,
for RA post, or for somewhere assistant professor, or whatever.
I joined PhD in the motive of to teach, like I have an interest or I have some orientation towards teaching. So that's what I don't want to go for a postdoc. And after learning some experiences from the PhDs, I feel like maybe I am not the suitable candidate for doing the postdoctoral activity. So therefore, I am selected for the like most probably towards the assistant professor line.
Okay, that means your career is moving on towards that is teaching profession, right? So okay,
Yes, yes.
Sonali, can you express? Can you share your experiences of a PhD journey? That is, as you earlier told, you are a sixth year student of a PhD. So how was the journey of your
Yeah,
PhD?
yeah. Sir, sir, before COVID time, you can say the journey was going little bit smooth. But soon after we experiences the COVID times, we were not allowed to go to our lab, and therefore our research work got hampered very much. And for 2 years, we were not able to do our work regularly. So, and that was a crucial period for planning our research and procuring the materials, and these things has to be done in that time. So it has gone delay a lot because of the COVID season, but before COVID, it was going much well.
Okay, Sonal, it was nice interactions to interact with you. And now the session is open for you. If you have any query or any doubt or any kind of suggestions you want to me, then you can ask to me and feel comfortable. Now we can talk in Hindi also, so other audience can be able to understand what kind of questions I asked to you and you replied. So Sonal, first of all, कैसा लगा आपको ये मॉक इंटरव्यू दे करके और अभी आप कैसा महसूस कर रही हैं?
सर मॉक इंटरव्यू तो ठीक था। मतलब मुझे काफी कॉन्फिडेंस आया। पहले मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था मे बी मुझे चीजें आती हैं, मैं अच्छे से नहीं बता पाऊँ। पर इंटरव्यू देने के बाद मुझे लग रहा है कि आई विल बी एबल टू लाइक कन्वे माय थिंग्स प्रॉपर्ली टू देम।
ओके सो कब है आपका इंटरव्यू 19th को?
हाँ सर, मेरा इंटरव्यू 19 को है।
ओके वेरी गुड तो मेरे ख्याल से कल या परसों में आप निकल जाएंगे यहाँ से.
हाँ, मैं कल ही निकल जाऊँगी सर यहाँ से, मतलब लाइक दिल्ली में, और एक
ओके
दिन का मैं रेस्ट लूँगी वहाँ पे, फिर 19 को इंटरव्यू।
ओके सोनल कुछ सजेशंस हैं आपके लिए. आप बेहतर होगा कुछ आप
हाँ,
इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लीजिए. लाइक एज करेंटली आप पीएचडी कर रही
हाँ।
हैं और आप सिक्स ईयर में हैं पीएचडी के टाइम पे, राइट? तो पहला सवाल आपसे ये बन सकता है कि इतना डिले पीएचडी में क्यों,
यस सर।
ऐसा वर्क का डिजाइनिंग क्या है आपका? ये आपको ये वीडियो मिल जाएगा रिकॉर्डेड, डोंट वरी, नो नीड टू नोट डाउन एनीथिंग एल्स, आप अच्छे से सुन सकते हैं,
हाँ,
ठीक है? सो ये 6 साल का टाइम आपको
हाँ, हाँ।
क्यों लग रहा है? आपने इसे कंपाइल क्यों नहीं कर पाए अच्छे तरीके से टाइमिंग से? और दूसरा जो सबसे मेजर इंपॉर्टेंट सवाल आपके पीएचडी से बनेगा कि आपके पूरे पीएचडी के जो 4 या 5 5 ऑब्जेक्टिव आपने फ्रेम किए होंगे, उस ऑब्जेक्टिव का जो मेजर आउटकम है वो क्या है, राइट? और उसका उसका फ्यूचर क्या है और कैसे आप उसको हमें
सर सर अगर मैं उनको ये बताऊंगी कि मेरा जो पीएचडी का टेन्योर है सर, क्योंकि मेरा पीएचडी का वर्क पूरा सेल लाइन बेस्ड था, कैंसर सेल लाइन बेस्ड, और मैंने पीएचडी ज्वाइन करी है 2018 जनवरी में।
ओके
और 2018 2019 में
कोविड.
2018 I completed my coursework, and in 2019 like I was designing my objectives. I was going through the literature review parts and completing my comprehensive examination. So this thing I had done in the second year. But soon after the 2020, we were not in the lab, and we returned in 2021 back to all form in June. So from June 2021, I started my own research, though I was not sitting alone in the without work in the home. Also, I have completed one of my review article during that duration.
ओके ओके ओके
So
सो
that thing I have done.
या अगर सपोज
So
कि
that
इस
was the reason which is.
या अगर सपोज किस तरीके के क्वेश्चंस अगर वो पूछते हैं तो आप इसको एडमिट कर सकते हैं कि सर इन बिटवीन माय पीएचडी एडमिशन देयर वाज अ 2 year दैट इज फॉर द कोविड. सो इन
Yes,
द
sir.
पीरियड ऑफ 19 एंड 20 एंड इवन 21 दैट इज 21st, राइट? सो ये
Yeah.
आपका 19
Yes,
लास्ट
sir.
से लेकर पूरा 20 और 21 का मई और जून तक का कोई
हाँ.
काम हुआ नहीं था.
Yes, sir.
सारे लेबोरेटरी शट डाउन
And
पड़े हुए थे.
close. Yes, sir. And my work is also on the cancer cell lines. And working in the tissue culture laboratory itself involve a lot of
या
very we can say technical kind of problems. Like you face lot of contamination sometimes. So 1 2 months will go like this. And now I'm under the stage of paper publication, and paper publication itself will take 3 months for that thing. So
Okay.
I'm waiting for the review for that thing. So as soon as the review will come, I can write that paper in my thesis and I can submit it in.
ओके सोनल, सो अपने पीएचडी के आउटकम पे फोकस कर लीजिएगा। और सेकंड चीज़ आपका ये होगा,
हाँ
जैसे
हाँ
अभी मैंने आपसे पूछा कि सपोज अगर आप यहाँ पे सेलेक्ट नहीं होते हैं तो आप आगे क्या करेंगे, तो आपने बताया कि आप लुक फॉरवर्ड करेंगे असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर के लिए। ये अच्छा है। और
हाँ
तीसरा चीज़ ये है कि सपोज आपकी जो दैट इज वीकनेस है, आपको क्या ऐसा लगता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर सब्जेक्ट नॉलेज या इन टर्म्स ऑफ योर
हम्म,
वर्किंग प्रोफेशन, कि आपको क्या आपके अंदर में ऐसी वो चीज़ है जो कि आपको वीक करती है।
हाँ
सो व्हाट इज द वीकनेस इन यू, एंड हाउ यू कैन दैट इज लुक लाइक दैट दे अफेक्ट द मोर इन योर करियर एज वेल एज योर विद योर कलीग्स, राइट। सो आपको इस पे फोकस कर लेना चाहिए कि क्या वो चीज़ें हैं। सो आपका करेंटली
हाँ
वर्क एक्सपीरियंस एज वेल एज दैट इज पीएचडी के आउटकम, आपका फेवरेट टॉपिक आपने एज योर
हाँ
दैट इज आपने बताया कि इम्यूनोलॉजी, मॉलिक्यूलर बायोलॉजी और आरडी टेक्नोलॉजी, सॉरी बायोकेमिस्ट्री, ये आपके फेवरेट हैं। तो ये 5-6 टॉपिक होंगे जिस पे कि आपसे चर्चा होगा, ठीक है। और अगर आप इन पे अच्छे से वर्क करके आप जाते हैं, डेफिनेटली द इंटरव्यू विल गो वेरी गुड, देयर इज नो इशू। सो
हाँ
अच्छे से इन टॉपिक पे तैयारी कर
yes,
लीजिए, अपने पीएचडी के बारे में थोड़ा सा
हम्म,
जान लीजिए, आगे आप क्या करेंगे इसके बारे में डिस्कस कर लीजिए, तो काफ़ी कुछ हद तक अच्छा रहेगा, ठीक है। और
हाँ
बाकी जैसे सपोज कि अभी आपने मॉक इंटरव्यू दिया तो मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगा कि हाँ आप बहुत ज़्यादा पैनिक थे या बहुत ज़्यादा घबराए हुए थे। कई सारे स्टूडेंट्स का मैं इंटरव्यू लेता रहता हूँ तो देख के ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे वो बहुत नर्वस हैं। इनिशियली उन्हें इंकरेज करना पड़ता है कि अभी आप कंफर्टेबल फील कर रहे हैं कि नहीं, तो उन्हें थोड़ा टाइम लगता है। बट यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं था, तो ये अच्छी बात है। और होपफुली कि आप ऐसा ही परफॉर्मेंस वहाँ पे मेन इंटरव्यू में भी दें, राइट।
yeah.
सो यही है सजेशंस मेरी तरफ से कि आप इन चीज़ों को इनकॉर्पोरेट करें, बाकी
Sir, I think this panic thing has removed after doing PhD because now we'll be like every week we'll have a meeting with something or the
yeah,
other.
definitely.
So
Yeah,
we'll be
definitely.
like,
That is for the
everything
every
will be
PhD students
like,
that uh,
yeah,
कहते हैं ना कि पीएचडी और कुछ सिखाया ना सिखाया, लेकिन आपको पेशेंस रखना और अपने आप को काम डाउन रखना जरूर सिखा देता है। दैट इज द गुड थिंग इन द ऑल पीएचडी
yeah, uh,
है ना। सो चलिए,
yes,
अच्छा लगा
sir,
आपसे
it is
बात
like
करके
that.
सोनल, एंड होपफुली कि आपका इंटरव्यू अच्छा हो। हमारी तरफ से ढेर सारी बेस्ट विशेस आपको। और अगर इन बिटवीन आपको
Yeah.
कोई प्रॉब्लम होती है तो डेफिनेटली आप मैसेज कर सकते हैं, ओके।
सर अगर मुझे पूछा जाएगा कि मेरी वीकनेस क्या है तो क्या मैं उन्हें बता सकती हूँ कि इन द टर्म्स लाइक परफेक्शन इज लाइक एंड नॉट टू क्विट बिकॉज समटाइम दीज कैन कॉज द प्रॉब्लम इन PhDs also because in my experiments also I will be like I will want to be perfect in that also. So sometimes it hinders my experimental area, it hinders my PhD in that way, and not to putting in that direction also will give me the lot of problems in my career.
ओके, अगर आपको लगता है कि आपके माइंडसेट में ये है कि जब तक कोई चीज़ परफेक्ट लेवल पे नहीं हो जाती तब तक आपका माइंड उसे एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर सकता, दैट इज़ वन
हाँ,
ऑफ द बिगेस्ट वीकनेस,
yeah,
राइट। सो ये बहुत अच्छा
yeah,
पॉजिटिवनेस भी है। आप जब आप फैकल्टी बनेंगे तो फैकल्टी के तौर पे ये बहुत अच्छा एक प्लस पॉइंट भी बनेगा कि आपको ऐसे सेटिस्फाइड करना इतना इजी टास्क नहीं होगा, राइट। तो आप
yeah,
इसको नेगेटिव अगर बताएंगे तो ये पॉजिटिव में भी काउंट होगा, बट आप अगर आपके पास अगर ये चीज़ है तो आप इसे जरूर मेंशन करें कि सर करेंटली मतलब आपके पास ये चीज़ है कि आप जल्दी
yeah.
कोई भी चीज़ से सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होती, मतलब ये परफेक्शन लेवल चाहिए होता है।
हाँ, yes, like that.
चलिए, और कुछ पूछना
काफी
है
बार
सर?
मेरे गाइड मुझे ऐसा बोल सकते हैं कि लाइफ में ऐसा नहीं होता है कि सब कुछ परफेक्ट हो. We'll try our best to give, but still we'll not be able to do that.
हाँ, डेफिनेटली कंप्रोमाइज़ तो करना पड़ता है कुछ चीज़ों को
Yeah,
लेकर के,
हाँ,
बिकॉज़ टाइम वेरिएशंस भी होते हैं और टाइम का भी
yeah,
वो
yeah,
चीज़ें बहुत वेरी मैटर करती हैं, तो ये सारी चीज़ें हो जाती हैं। ओके, ठीक है सोनल, सो विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर इंटरव्यू फ्रॉम माय साइड्स। इफ यू हैव एनी डाउट, एनी क्वेरीज रिगार्डिंग योर
yeah.
रियल इंटरव्iew, then definitely you have my number, so you can message me and whatever will the possible solutions I will give you.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you,
no
thank you
problem,
for a
sir.
nice
Thank you
conversation.
so much, sir, for
Okay.
giving me time.